Bakhtiari, said he's expecting big things from the quarterback, saying, quote, I don't think it's very wise for a betting man, Shady McCoy, to say that Aaron Rodgers is not going to make the playoffs. Again, any Aaron Rodgers conversation on TV, you better come to speak for it because that's where James Jones, his former teammate, lies. So James Jones, tell no lies.
Sir.
Are the Jets a lock to make the playoffs with Aaron Rodgers? Lock.
Lock. Yes, sir. They are a lock to make the playoffs. They are a lock to win this division.
Oh.
Aaron Rodgers healthy. We can talk about whatever we want to talk about Aaron Rodgers when he gets in the postseason. But one thing 12 is going to do is 12 is going to make the playoffs. He is going to make the playoffs. That's what he is going to do, right? He's going to make sure his team has an opportunity to get into the playoffs. In his whole career, he's missed the playoffs when he is healthy 3 times.
Wow.
Aaron Rodgers makes sure his team gets to the postseason. Now, we can argue about the postseason all we want of what he does in the postseason.
An argument. We know what he does.
But it's one thing that he does do, and that's get to the postseason consistently. Year after year after year after year, whether he's playing at an MVP level, whether he's not playing at an MVP level, Aaron is going to make sure his team's in the playoffs. This is one of the better teams Aaron Rodgers has been around. When you talk about from top to bottom, skill positions, defense, O-line, running game, this is one of the best teams he's had around him. If he can get back to playing at the level he will get back to playing at, this team is a lock to win the division and make the playoffs. Once you get in, see where you go from there.
James, real quick.
Talk to me.
Why are you so confident now that Aaron Rodgers gets into the playoffs and all that? I'm just curious.
Because I just told you, Aaron don't miss the playoffs.
No, but I'm saying I know you were talking about like back in the day. I'm saying like recently. I'm sorry. I'm talking about recently nowadays.
Recently he got hurt, right?
Okay, then the year before that.
You know what I mean? That was one of the 3 times he missed the playoffs.
See what I'm saying?
Other than that, 16 years.
The 3 times they didn't make the playoffs, it was last year.
Yeah.
And the year before that, because he was in Green Bay, he looked regular.
Yeah.
And then the year after or before that too.
Well, he got hurt.
He made it the year before and the year before.
So I'm just saying, it's just showing, right? Because I don't know, but I'm just saying it's showing that he's not doing that lately. He's not going to the playoffs because he's not just getting it done. I'll say this. I think that the Jets have a big shot to get in the playoffs, but it's not because of Aaron Rodgers, in my opinion. I think from defense, from the offensive weapons they have, from the running game, from some of the new linemen, right? And I think that Aaron Rodgers just being there, his presence, right? Because I don't know how good he really is no more.
Yeah.
Like, we think he's A-Rod, the MVP. We know he did that back then, but I don't know what he is that now. So I watched him play.
They had all these pieces and stuff here last year. Good defense, good running game. Didn't make the playoffs.
Yeah, but you had Zach Wilson. I mean, he's like awful. He's like Justin Fields there, and that that's bottom. What I'm saying is, no. I'm not saying I don't need the Hall of Fame Aaron Rodgers. I just need a good quarterback. It's solid. Solid could be 3,000 yards.
Yeah, 3,700, 26 touchdowns like he did.
That ain't it. So my man, seriously. So if you take the name away from the Jets, because we make everything about Aaron Rodgers, and he hasn't been that good lately.
So you saying they're locked because the last time he was healthy, he had 3,700, 26 touchdowns. You saying that gets the Jets in the playoffs?
I'm saying for the Jets, okay, Aaron Rodgers, because I'm not. You see, the thing is, the first thing he said was how great Aaron Rodgers is, and this and that, and the third.
He is great.
I'm not going to all that. I'm going to really, really good.
So you take the average Aaron Rodgers.
I'm going for a really good Jets team, right? The head of that AFC East is the Bills. Used to be the Bills. They're not the same. Yeah. I'm looking at that, and I'm looking at Aaron Rodgers being a cool quarterback.
And that's good enough.
And that's good enough.
So that's a lock.
Not that A-Rod's this and that.
I'm just saying, the last time 12 was healthy, he had 3,700, 26 touchdown passes.
And that was not enough to get in the playoffs with Green Bay.
That's what I'm saying.
But that will be good enough for the Jets.
That's all I'm saying.
Because the team
so
is so
you're saying
good.
a lock if he's an average Aaron Rodgers.
That's right.
Okay.
That's interesting. I can't answer the question. And not because I don't want to, but I was like, yeah, they're a lot. And I was like, nah, they not. Yeah, they're a lot. No, they're not. And I was like, you know what? Let me ask James, because I don't know. The reason I don't know is I'm with Shady. There's not enough data to support Aaron Rodgers and who he is and who he's going to be. I love Aaron Rodgers. I think Aaron Rodgers is probably a top 2 quarterback all time as it pertains to talent. He's probably the most talented quarterback of all time. Y'all can argue about if that's relevant or not. But as a defender, Aaron Rodgers is amazing. The problem, though, James, to Shady's point, he played 4 plays last year. He'll be 41 in December. The year before, when he was healthy, he was not great. You could debate if he was good. So, Slick, I genuinely don't know what Aaron Rodgers we're going to see. I think the Jets will win 10 to 11 games because of the defense, but Hassan Reddick better be there. And I think the Jets will win 10 to 11 games because of Aaron Rodgers. Does that get you into the playoffs? I don't know. Chargers are going to be better. Bengals are going to be better. They're going to be healthy. The Texans are going to be better. The Jags aren't going to fall off a cliff at the end of the year again. They just did that, so I don't anticipate that happening. They'll win 10 games. I'll say they're a lot to win 10. What those 10 games get you, I don't know.
So I've been watching this conversation in various forms from the sidelines.
Yeah.
And so I'm really intrigued. First of all, I look at the 7 playoff teams from last year. Do any one of those, are we expecting any of those to fall off? Or any one of those definitively?
I'm not sure about the Bills.
Yeah. It's really
Okay,
going.
so we'll take them out. Bengals, we expect to be back in the
they
mix.
should be.
Jags, as you pointed out.
They should be back in the joint.
I mean,
we're out, yeah.
Steelers, we still waiting to see how they look.
Yeah,
Okay.
Steelers TBD.
Okay.
I think the
So-
Bills and the Steelers are the two. I'm like, what they gonna do?
But bottom line is, you've got 8 or 9 teams that are in the mix, including the Jets,
of
right?
course, of
So to
course.
say that the Jets at 7 and 10 are going to be a lock, like that to me is the operative word here. A lock to make the playoffs. And as I said, I've been watching from the sidelines, and I've heard a lot about Russell Wilson and what he's not going to be able to do with his new team next year, and what Aaron Rodgers is going to be able to do. And I'm just going to look, can I have a comparison of the last time we saw these two players play fully healthy? These are the numbers. So I'm looking at that comparison, and we don't believe that Russell Wilson is good enough, even though he has a better coach, he has a better defense.
I don't know about that one.
I mean, Steelers defense is good.
It's comparable, right?
Comparable.
Like, we don't believe that Russell Wilson can get it done with a team that actually did make the playoffs.
He don't believe.
And we're saying that Aaron Rodgers is a lock to get it done with a New York Jets organization, team, head coach, go down the line. I just can't have that much confidence that Aaron, at this stage, no matter what he is capable of lifting them to that point if you're going to make the argument that Russell Wilson doesn't have enough left to do it with the Pittsburgh Steelers.
And that is the argument that I make for sure. That's for sure an argument I make. James Jones, I think you think Russ gets it done there.
Yeah.
James, how can you say lock, not because of the Jets and not because of Rodgers, but because of what Slick said, what Shady's alluded to? The Chiefs, they a lot. The Ravens, I think they'll get into the playoffs. I don't think they'll necessarily win the division, but I'll say the Ravens will get into the playoffs. Somebody else from the Bengals and the two AFC North teams are getting into the division. So right now we have 3, no doubt. Texans probably gonna get into that. Going to be in there. They probably my locks. Those probably my locks. 2 AFC teams. The Texans and the Chiefs.
AFC North.
2 AFC North teams. My locks. My locks. Outside of that, I ain't got no lock. The Dolphins aren't a lock. Bills aren't a lock. The Jets a lock. Chargers aren't a lock. Those are my locks. How can you give the Jets a lock because of whatever all the other talent out there?
I'm giving the Jets a lock because I feel like the Jets have arguably one of the best rosters in the National Football League.
Agree with that.
When you talk about what they added on the O-line, what they added at the skill position-wise, what they have on defense, adding Hassan Reddick, I feel like they have one of the best rosters. And then if you can get, even like we said, if you can get an average Aaron Rodgers, which means your quarterback ain't going to be turning the ball over and your defense is on short fields and they on the field for 97 plays, it's different football. And that's why I think they're alive, because I believe they're the best team in that division on paper right now, roster-wise, and I think Aaron Rodgers is going to be healthy. That's why I think this team is a lock to get in the postseason, because the way they are built as a football team, they are better every position from last year. They are better as a team, and now you add in a Hall of Fame quarterback in Aaron Rodgers, and we don't know what we are going to get from him. But even if we say we can get that Aaron Rodgers, the last year he was healthy, they should be a lock to get into the playoffs.
No doubt about it. Well, when we return, it's my favorite topic of the day. And if you've never been in an NFL locker room, allow James Jones, Shady McCoy, and myself to welcome you into ours. The vibes are different. The conversation, it's unfiltered. But the dialogue is this. Is Jalen Hurts running out of time in Philadelphia? Might Jalen Hurts get that same Carson Wentz treatment with one more bad year? Join the locker room, family. It's unique. That's next on Speak.